Hey guys, welcome to Manifesting Better. I'm back with another video and another topic that needs to be addressed. I also have an Instagram account, the link for that is in the description box below. Coaching is also available, the link for that too is in the description box below. Hey guys, hope you're well. So in this video, I want to talk about this topic. What is living in the end and versus what is living as if. Now this is something that a lot of people are getting confused with, especially because these are both topics that can have similar meanings but can be slightly confusing. So in this video, I will try to clear up as many doubts as possible, and I will try to get the difference between living in the end and living as if very clear. Whichever one suits you, whichever one works for you, that's amazing. In the end, you will see that both of them are connected in some way. But eventually, whichever suits you or whichever feels better is what you should align yourself with. So first, before getting into this, let's understand the definition of both of these things. So what is living in the end and what is living as if? So living in the end is a term that Neville Goddard used a lot, where he talked about that to manifest what you want, the only prerequisite that you have is living in the end. And that is true. The only prerequisite to manifesting what you want is to live in the end result of having it or being the one who has it. Now, the issue starts and the complications start with how to reach that place, because for a lot of people there are different situations and different things that they are suffering through. There is trauma, there is wounding, there is past circumstances, there are fears which are involved in the place where they want to be, right? And because there are so many things involved, what you have to ask yourself is, when I'm in a state, how can I live in the end, and what are the things that are coming in between me and living in the end? This is where all the work that we like me as a coach or other coaches help you with, on how can you possibly use things in your particular situation, and how can someone who has a particular situation and circumstances like you, a past like you, can reach to that place. This is where the self-concept work comes in. This is where forgiveness comes in, inner child work comes in, and all these things that people talk about. This is what it all comes down to, that eventually the more you can work on yourself, the better it would become, because you would get to a place where living in the end would become easier and easier. Now, it would be way easier for you to live in the end of something that you don't have a history or trauma or an old story connected to. And it would be difficult sometimes to get into the end result of something that you don't have an old story connected to. So it's about differentiating between the two, getting into a place where you can understand which is which and what part of it do you want to use to get to the place where you want to be, right? So eventually, the prerequisite to manifestation is living in the end. Living as if is something that people talk about as a technique to live in the physical world where you are right now as the version of yourself who has it. So this was talked a lot about in various books, and like when manifestation first came into the picture with law of attraction, things like that, that this is what people talk about a lot. And how like they use it is that if you are someone who is manifesting money, then you should spend money, because that is what you would be doing if you had what you wanted. If you are someone who wants a partner, like prepare your home as if you are preparing your home, that and your partner is there, because that will help you manifest what you want. Basically, this works on the premise that you are preparing for your manifestation by preparing your current life in a way that the universe can take the indication that you have what you want and that you believe in it, right? Now, I know that a lot to unpack here, and a lot of things that can go wrong with the concept of living as if, which I will clear, and especially in terms of like when you're manifesting love and when you're manifesting money. There are a few red flags to this concept that I will talk about, and so that you can avoid doing these. Now, this concept is not all bad, but there are some things that can be slightly confusing to people, which I will clear. So let's understand a few differences first. Living in the end is usually in your head. You're basically embodying the state through a thought process and a mindset and the way that you handle things. It's usually on how you show up in front of the world through your reactions, through your actions, and your belief system. What you believe about it. What do you believe about the situation? Why do you feel that this can change? And what is your belief in terms of manifesting and in terms of your own power? It is done via a mindset. So living in the end is an embodiment of a particular belief or a mindset. Living as if, on the contrary, is done in the physical world. This is how you act and the things that you prepare for, usually with your actions. Now, where it goes wrong is, I will give you a few examples. So, for example, someone who's manifesting money, right? What you have to see is that while you are manifesting money, let's say you read the concept of living as if and you start spending all the money that you have, right? Eventually, it can do harm than good, because it can put you into a position where now that you don't have money, you feel even more poor than when you did not spend that money that you had. So let's say you have $1,000, just an example, and let's say you read the concept of living as if, and then you start spending it on things that you don't need, because you tell yourself that if I was a billionaire, this is what I would be spending my money on. Correct. When you would be spending your money on this, now you don't have money to buy groceries. So that only makes you feel poorer than when you had those $1,000 and you could afford to have food and you could afford the life that you were living, right? One place where living as if can go slightly wrong. Living as if can go wrong in terms of relationships, and I will give you the alternatives too. Living as if can go wrong in terms of relationships when, for example, you are manifesting a specific person and you want to go after that situation and you're trying to get that situation better, and your mindset wants to, like, you want to get into a situation with that person, but right now you are in no contact, right? But then, because living as if says act as someone who has what they want, so what you do is you start reaching out to that person, bombarding their phone, quote unquote, just 2 steps before a restraining order, because you are running after that person and you are saying, I would be doing that if they were my boyfriend or they were my girlfriend. See, this is where living as if can go slightly wrong when perceived by someone in a desperate position. So this is how the living as if concept can go wrong. Does that mean that this concept is all wrong? No. So let's understand what eventually living as if is made for and how can you use that to better your manifestations. First, you have to understand that the process is different for every person. So how I would perceive situations is maybe not how you would perceive situations. What would work for me might not be the thing that works for you. So let's say I am using the living as if and I have $1,000. I would ask myself, what would make me feel richer? I don't have to spend the $1,000, but maybe I can buy that $10 cup of coffee I want to buy, but I'm running away from because I'm in consistent lack. That can possibly make me feel richer. Now, this is very situation based. So the bigger question that you need to ask is, how is doing this action going to make me feel? What belief in me is this action going to cement so that I can proceed forward? Right? So if I do this action, how can this action make me feel? How will this action make me feel? And what part of me, what new concept and what new idea and identity in me will this make me embody if I do this? Right? So once you understand that this is how you want to proceed with the situation, that is what you can do. Coming to the topic of relationships, what you have to understand, someone who would be in a relationship would not be in a position where they would feel the need to bombard that person. So living as if for that person could mean maybe I will prepare my nights in a way where I will schedule a date night, and maybe I can take myself on a self date till the time that person comes. If I truly am living as if, maybe I wouldn't feel the need to chase that person, because I would have this natural feeling that this person will come to me automatically. Things like that can actually make you live in the end while using the concept of living as if. It's a very situation based thing, right? What you have to see is, I want to do whatever I can do to make myself feel that I have what I want. Now, it can be in stages. So for someone, having what I want can mean having the best self concept. For someone who is in a very obsessive place, having what they want can mean having a very good self concept. Now, it differs from person to person, but honestly, it's not possible for me to advise everyone about different situations every time here, because it's like a general way of communicating. So I don't know your situation. That's only possible in one-on-one sessions. Now, when you are in that place, you will understand that doing whatever you need to do to make yourself feel like you have it is the key. So eventually, the question should be, how can I convince myself of the truth that I want to see manifested? Right? For someone, it can be clearing my almirah so that my partner has room when they come. If that makes me feel like I have it, good for me. For someone, it can be sleeping on one side of the bed because it makes me feel that when my partner comes, they would have the other side of the bed. That makes me feel like I have it. But for someone, maybe sitting on my bed and having a conversation or preparing food for two people when there is one can make me feel the lack of it. So I don't actually have to do actions that only makes me feel the lack of it. So do what you have to. Make sure that you are actually identifying how that action actually makes you feel, because that is very important, and whatever identity it is cementing in you is very important. I hope this helps and wish you all the very best. See you in the next video. Click the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe and turn the notifications on for more such content. Comment down your video suggestions and I will see you guys in the next one.